Welcome back to Panoramic Mystery Events. Tonight, we're diving into the extended and truly terrifying editions of 3 cases that defy all explanation. We begin on a lonely road in Scotland, where a routine drive home became a descent into a nightmare that was captured on camera. The night was unnaturally silent on the outskirts of Inverness. There was no wind, no sound from animals, not even the familiar hum of distant machinery. A lone driver was making their way home after a late shift, navigating a narrow rural road swallowed by a thick, rolling fog. The dashcam footage starts normally, the headlights cutting a path through the gloom. But then, the car rounds a corner, and everything changes. There, in the middle of the lane, stands something tall. Far too tall to be human. It's a thin, elongated figure. Its limbs are unnaturally long. Its posture is rigid and stiff, and its head is tilted, as if it's listening for something miles away. But the first detail that sends a shiver down your spine: ice and tea. Its appearance set. The shadow. The car's headlights clearly illuminate the road ahead, yet the figure's shadow moves in the wrong direction, sliding across the pavement as if being pulled by some invisible force. As the car slows to a crawl, the driver's confusion turns to fear. The figure doesn't step aside. It doesn't react. It doesn't even flinch. Instead, its body begins to flicker, like a corrupted video file. For a split second, its limbs seem to stretch and retract, as if reality itself is struggling to process its impossible shape. And then, it happens. The figure turns its head toward the driver, but it doesn't rotate its neck. Its entire upper body twists with a sickening, bone-cracking motion, while its legs remain perfectly straight, still facing forward. The camera's microphone, barely audible over the engine's hum, captures a faint sound, a slow, wet inhale, as if this thing is smelling the fear radiating from inside the car. The driver whispers, "What the hell?" And in response, the figure is suddenly right in front of the windshield. Its face is pressed against the glass, its features blurred into a featureless void. The footage abruptly cuts to black. The car was discovered the next morning. The doors were wide open, the headlights still on, their batteries draining into the morning light. But the driver was nowhere in sight. To this day, locals whisper a warning: if you see the wanderer on that road, don't brake, don't look, and whatever you do, don't breathe. Our next incident takes us to a bustling shopping mall in Seoul, South Korea, where a simple social media video turned into a chilling encounter with the impossible. A teenage boy steps into a public restroom, phone in and recording a quick clip for his followers. He faces the mirror, fixes his hair, and laughs casually at the camera. But the person in the mirror doesn't laugh back. In the reflection, the boy's face remains completely neutral, staring directly at him with an empty expression. Confused, the real boy stops smiling and looks closer. He waves his hand at the mirror. His reflection waves back, but a full second later, not only is it delayed, it waves with the wrong hand. The boy freezes, a knot of dread tightening in his stomach. He leans in closer to the glass, trying to make sense of what he's seeing. His reflection leans in too, but slower, almost hesitant, and then it smiles. A cold, wide, unnatural smile. A smile the boy has never made in his life. He whispers, almost to himself, "What is this?" But the reflection's lips move just before his own, whispering something lost in the phone's static. Suddenly, the restroom lights flicker violently. In that split second of darkness, the reflection turns and walks away from the mirror, disappearing out of the reflected frame. But the real boy hasn't moved an inch. He is still standing, paralyzed with terror. Panic finally takes over, and he scrambles for the door, running out of the restroom. The mall's CCTV footage captures him bursting into the hallway. But then, the video glitches. He suddenly appears back at the restroom door again, as if time itself has just He frantically pulls on the handle, but the door seems to have locked itself from the inside, trapping whatever was in there. When mall security finally forced the door open just minutes later, the restroom was completely empty. But the large mirror was covered in a thick layer of fog, with long, vertical streaks running down the glass, as if someone had been dragging their fingers down it from the inside. The boy was never seen again. In online forums, the case is now known by a chilling name: the reflection that wanted out. For our final story, we travel to the vast, isolated highways of the Yukon in Canada. Truckers in this region are accustomed to strange weather, long, lonely nights, and crackling radio interference. But this was something else entirely. Multiple recordings, taken by different drivers on the exact same stretch of highway, have revealed a terrifying and consistent pattern. At precisely 2:07 a.m., every radio in the area suddenly shifts to a dead static channel, a channel that no radio should be able to access without being manually tuned. And through that static, a faint whisper emerges. Turn back. It's the voice of a child, trembling with fear. Dashcam footage, synced with the audio recordings, shows a tall, dark silhouette standing near a reflective road sign up ahead. Its outline seems to vibrate, as if it's struggling to maintain its form in our reality. With each repetition of the whisper, the silhouette teleports slightly closer to the vehicle. It never walks. It never moves its limbs. It just jumps positions between the frames of the video. In one recording, the driver slows down, bewildered. The whisper immediately changes. Don't stop. He's watching you. At that moment, the silhouette's shape grotesquely morphs. Its limbs elongate. Its torso bends at an impossible angle, and its head tilts a full 90 degrees to the side. Onboard thermal cameras, meant to spot wildlife, detect zero heat signature from the figure. But the truck's windshield begins to fog up from the outside, as if something impossibly cold is breathing directly onto the glass. Then, the whisper's tone shifts again. It becomes calm, clear, and almost satisfied. It says, "You finally saw me." The camera feed dissolves into pure static. When the image stabilizes a second later, the silhouette is no longer on the road. It's standing right beside the truck's passenger window, staring in. The driver in that incident abandoned his truck and fled on foot. He was found miles away, unconscious. When he recovered, he claimed he heard one final whisper, not from the radio, but from right behind his ear. It said, "Next time, don't run." Thank you for watching. Follow for more panoramic mysteries.